Hey everybody, Brad Linder back at you with another daily sketch card, number 358, if you can believe that. Gonna share this over with the page and over with the channel real quick, and we're gonna knock this out. We have Banshee from the X-Men, so it's gonna be pretty quick, hopefully, but I'm gonna have a good time with this one and knock it out real good and smooth with these pencils, and we're gonna see about going on to the next one after that. Um, Sharing this over real quick, as long as Facebook isn't fighting me, the channel isn't, but Facebook is a little bit. There we go. Sorry about that delay. Now, got that over there. Hey, Jeremy, uh, David. Hey, man, I haven't seen you guys in a long time. Hey, Dave, how's it going, man? I got to give props to Dave. Dave is with Superhero Speak, the podcast over there they run. If you guys haven't ever seen them, I've been on there a few times, and those guys are always a blast to hang out with. Dave and John and the rest of the gang over there. So you guys check them out. They are very cool personalities in the comic industry and will give you the support you need in a pinch, without a doubt. They are cool guys just to be friends with and hang out. And I definitely miss you guys, miss the gang over there, picking on John about his bronies and all that fun stuff we had with talking shop and predicting stuff. It was always a cool show. But got Banshee here tonight, and like I said, this is card number 358 in the series. This is 358 days in a row that I've been doing this since last April, and you guys are about to help me hit the 1 year mark, and the sketchbook is going to come out, and then we're going to keep doing this for some time in the near future. But it may change up due to the following and everything going on. I might change it up a little bit. I haven't decided 100% yet if I'm going to keep doing this every single day of the week, but I need to hear some shout outs from you guys if that's what you want, because as Facebook is shrinking violently due to the fact of the new algorithms and things, and YouTube is picking up, I've been asked to do more YouTube stuff. So you guys need to let me know if you want me to stay on Facebook and keep doing this daily from here, as well as on the channel at the same time, so that we can keep hanging out and stuff. Because of those actions being taken, things are switching up a little bit, There's a lot of new sites and profiles and things out there, and I'm looking into it, being in the social media expert positioning industry. I work a lot through digital marketing and things like that, and I'm always checking out these new platforms. I have not decided on one to call another platform home yet, but I will say that I am definitely on the lookout for getting into that and getting into a different venue. Just, if nothing else, just to spread it out a little bit more, because I work from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and a couple of others, Pinterest. There are a few platforms that are out there that everybody knows and works from, but then on top of that, there are a lot of them that aren't as well known, and I work in about 300 different platforms at any given time posting material. So believe me, it is out there to be pursued and take an interest in it. But for now, though, if you like the show, come on and show the likes, and I'm not, gonna suck up for them or anything like that, or buy them or bid for them or whatever. If you guys dig the show, let me know. It's kind of like public access television, you know what I mean? You gotta let me know you're there, let me know you're keeping up, and we'll keep doing this and keep going on. But I'm getting an average of anywhere from 40 to 100 hits per episode, so I'm doing all right. Some of them are really kicking off. YouTube is picking up to where they're starting to get way more traction, and I'm always looking to expand and help that out, so let me know what you guys are doing, because I need to know for sake of pushing this forward. So, because I've got a lot more stuff coming on in the how-to. After the first of the year, I'm going to be doing a lot more of the how-to stuff, and a lot more of the other elements, such as, you know, breakdowns, drawing pages, and then getting over into the marketing stuff, which I have stocked up now that Google's finally released my sites as approved and crawled, so that I can take care of that. So you guys keep in with that, and we'll go from there. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to get on here for coloring this out and keep it going. So, hey, Johnny and Marcelo made it. Cool deal. I'm doing fine, Jeremy. Thank you very much, man. I'm doing great. It's been a busy month. Google and Facebook have been battling out for different positions on different platforms and stuff, and they're tweaking a lot of different stuff on people. And you know, it's one of those things that I know Facebook owns Instagram, and they're going through using the Instagram algorithms to try to change Facebook and stuff, and screwing around with that. But then on top of that, they're competing against themselves with their own platform, which is weird too. So I just got my sites, like I said, after 11 days from submission to end, I got my sites approved, and now I'm going to start promoting those once the content is prepped up this weekend actually. And I just finished up 3 more pages of Night of the Living Dead for you guys for the webcomic, so that you can see that coming this week. And I'm very excited about releasing that. So we've got a lot coming up. But for me personally, I'm doing great, man. I'm just knocking it out, keeping busy with my work, helping some friends and clients and students and all that good stuff. And, you know, just doing my thing with helping people. And just prepping up, getting ready for the launches. Finally, it's taken forever, and I'm so happy with it coming the way it has. But if you don't know who Banshee is, by the way, let me get back to this a little bit. If you don't know who Banshee is one of the X-Men, and he's been bounced around quite a bit from the X-Men franchise to the Generation X franchise, as a teacher in the Generation X group, multiple X-Men appearances, multiple Generation X appearances. He appeared in X-Force for a little while, X-Factor off and on a little bit here and there. I don't want to color that one in because that's going to be shaded gray for the black stripes. We don't want to color that one green. And he's appeared across the board. I mean, the dude is everywhere. The last time I saw him, unfortunately, was in X-Men: The First Class, the comic book, back in September 2010. I haven't seen him much in the books then, but since then. But I'm not a regular avid hardcore reader either. I only pick up certain things, and that's not one of them. So it's just not. Sorry. I saw him on an X-Force or X-Men First Class book, and he was at the Castle Cassidy, which is his home, and he was on a mountain green in front of it, fighting gnomes, which I will never forget. That was hilarious. They had an X-Men character literally fighting little gnomes in black and red hats and suits and, you know, pants and whatnot, and it was just crazy. I mean, even for science fiction of comics, it was just nuts. I've never seen anything like that, and I thought, you know, Disney had officially won when they killed Marvel in that manner. So cute it was not. It looked rather desperate, actually, for fishing for ideas, and it's sad, but it is what it is at this point. So, but I'm still a huge fan of the X-Men and the characters that they present and represent. But, you know, it's just, it's a matter of whatever, you know, you're into at the particular time. So I'm going to go with a little bit of a light orange here for accenting this really cool yellow, and just kind of giving this a leathery, just a little bit of a leathery texture in regards to the high yellow that it is, the the bright sunny yellow that it is. I want to mute it down just a little bit, and adding in this orange will cut that down just a little to where it looks more spandex or leathery, and not like the vinyl type of spandex that is so outdated now, because it was the stuff that was used back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, when they did stuff like this. Whenever they do a costume suit, it was that almost that ski suit insulation type of spandex. It was almost gymnastic style, and it was crazy stuff that they were using. But then they came out with the modern version of spandex, which is the pleated or the cross stitch style. So it's got the ridges on it, it's woven, and it's completely different in texture and strength in comparison to what they were wearing in the 90s when they did some of these movies, and some of these series, and it was always the tight spandex, which if the ladies were, on screen, it was always flattering for them, but the guys, it made them look like, they were going to do leaps across the air, across the stage, and do like ballet moves, because it just wasn't cohesive to the look. And some of the stuff, if women looked that way too. I mean, it was rough sometimes. But I try to shade it up to make it look a little more solid. And I want to go with these greens before I do his hair first. So I will be jumping in with these greens the same way I did the yellow, because I want to balance. The reason I'm doing these greens first and these yellows first is because I want to balance the suit out, and then balance out his hair to where it reflects a gradient to that, and it doesn't happen to look just like it. That way it looks more like hair texture and not fabric. It'll look a little more organic. But this is the classic 80s, 70s, 80s style suit with the big bellowed collar and the bright lime green suit, which is funny because these are the same colors they used on the Vulture in Spider-Man. It was like, they used to go around the bullpen and use whatever supplies they had, and they were common practice of coloring in, we need to make a color for this suit. Well, let's color it red because we've got a lot of red around for Spider-Man and a lot of red around for this character or that character, so let's make Doctor Strange this color, and or Daredevil this color, or whatever. And the Hulk's green, so we've got plenty of greens around, so let's color an X-Men green. That's the way they used to do it, and it always fascinated me because of that they would just use supplies that way. But it worked. It really did. Now, he is redheaded, but in most comic books he comes out as an orange, or what they call a sun-kissed blonde, and he comes out with actual orange hair in 99% of the cases. I mean, modern colorists tend to go more sandy blonde, and that's fine, but I like him to be traditional with the colors of what they were colored with at the time. So this really follows the look and color code of Banshee at the time. So I really dig that one and want to stick with it. And I'll go in and shade this down so it'll look a little more organic and not quite as orange peel-esque when I'm done. So hang with me. It will happen. Make sure that this isn't rocking the boat again. Shaking the camera there. So let's see, flesh that out. And I erased this really well so I can go across these lines without graphite being left over. Because this one was open so that I could color it, because I specifically wanted to color this one because I like this character so much. And I really wanted to do justice in that regard. So we're going to see now, I'm going to take this little bit of a harder orange, which I know isn't quite what people expect to see just yet. Because they're like, I thought you were going to tone it down. No, I like to darken it up just a little bit. And it livens it up. Gives it a little harder texture. And makes it contrast just a little. That way, the orange will contrast with the highlights. And the brown that I bring in will contrast with the orange as organic darker brown hair. So I really like the idea of this one, because this auburn brown that I'm about to bring down on this thing really accents this highly. So now I'm going to bring in this auburn brown here. It's very light, and it'll trench that down a little into those organic ranges of a redhead. Oops, and I slipped. That happens. At least it's not marker. I can't erase that. So go right on there and get rid of that. I'm heavy-handed with these leads, so. But it's real art here, people. That's what we're producing. So stuff happens. Stuff happens. He went outside the lines. He's not a professional. He went outside the lines. You see that? Yeah, that happens sometimes. All joking aside, it still happens. That's what whiteout is for. I see people have to do that all the time. It's like, if you colored digital, you wouldn't have to do that. I hear that a lot too, because I do color digital. I know the advantages of taking layers out and actions out, but you know, there's something nostalgic about coloring by hand and doing these this way that you just can't get with a colored type of pattern from digital stuff. You just can't do it. It just doesn't come out that way. So I'm going over that. Now I'm going to mute that down with that to make it look like that dark, almost maroon or crimson colored, almost purple shadowed palette underneath the tongue. So we have that going on. And then with this same brown, I'm going to go in really lightly and add some shadows to his flesh, because he's very light skinned. I'm going to keep it with the same brown that I used in the hair, because it's very light, very forgiving, and very cool. Make it kind of look like an old school Hanna-Barbera cartoon, the way it's colored up. I think that's very neat. I love the look of old cartoons, especially the ones from the 70s and 80s, where they went over and they lined everything out to make it look more three-dimensional. They gave everything a contrasted or embossed edge. And you can do the contouring, the same thing you can do in Photoshop when you do the emboss or the contour or the bevel. And you can add edges and colors and trims and stuff to characters like this all the time. which a lot of people will overdo to the point where they almost look like stickers or buttons and get three-dimensional and get a little strange in ways. You know, you're not supposed to go so far that you make them look overworked or weird. You know, if you go into where you accent every little edge, they look like they're cut out instead of embossed, and you don't want that. So be sure to enhance the characters, not edge them out, because that doesn't do any good for you when you start cutting stuff up to where they have to be colored in to make them work. Not cool. Color in those little nibs right there in the eyes. And we have that going on. Now I'm going to come in with just a touch of gray right under this lip. And the reason you do that is it shows volume and mass to his lip and to his teeth. Like that. So now it looks like he's raising it up. Now his eyes turn white on occasion when he uses his power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that edge in there like that so they look organic, like those eyelids are actually got holding the eyeball in, and they've got him held together. And I'm going to come in with this really bright green here. And I know that these normally don't get colored in, but I wanted to because of the fact that I wanted it to have that nostalgic 80s, 90s look where they put accent colors on everything to make it look bright and pop. Always just thought that was neat. So I'm going to pop a little color in there. Just a little. Nothing too, you know, freaky or fancy or whatever. Don't want it to look all colored up and weird. Just a little bit of accent at the force point. So there you go. Cool deal. Yay. Put a little right there. A little right there to bring it together, to show those rings extend out. And if you don't know what Banshee's power is, by his namesake, he is a screamer or a screecher. And that's what the Banshee's power was to come out and bring on the noise, as it were. I'm trying to find a really cool color to accent this. For the background here, I think I'm going to go purple. We're going to go purple. Go purple. So I think this will work. Going to go right over here. Now I normally would do this with longer striations, but I want to make sure this card's not going to ripple, because it's been a while since I penciled this one. It was earlier on in the series, and I was really rough with the eraser because I left this open and I wanted to get as much of the graphite off. So I'm taking it very easy on this card. It's not torn up or broken down. It's fine, but I just want to be gentle with the stock now that I'm going to be coloring it in so that it doesn't ripple later from high friction of, you know, grinding back and forth with the old colored pencil here. So I'm using shorter circular motions, which I normally would not use, but it'll cover the ground without bowing it or damaging the texture of the card and the integrity of it. So we got that going on. Okay. And before I came on, I ground a couple of these options that I had off to the side here down to a flat edge so that we can get the circular motion out of them, and they'll cover nice and smooth and hold the integrity of the card without smashing it. So there we go. Cool deal. All right. Now, typical late 80s, early 90s style, bright popping colors in the background, vibrant character. And before I call it a day here, I want to go back in with a little bit of this lighter orange that I used as the base of his hair and kind of texture this up just a little bit more. That's not going to be dark enough. I want to go with a darker one. I want to give it kind of a heavy orange pop. Give it just a little shadowing texture. Just along here. Right up under the edge of this collar. You don't want to smooth it out so hard that it's a hard shadow or a hard block. You want it to look like a toned shadow to the edge. So just giving it a little darker push right here in the inside of this, because it's going to be a little darker in there, but it will do the job. Okay. Bring that up a little bit. Show that seam line where the green meets the yellow. A little bit right there. Just to give it a little more of a vibrant pop. Now that the hair is in place, we can give it a little more detail and not worry about it clashing too much. So, okay, cool deal. And we'll get this little nip back here like that. Awesome. All right. So, and now on this green, I'm going to come in with a little hard black shading. Not everywhere, just hitting it in spots at the low points where these muscles meet. The heavy spots like under the ribs and under the pecs. Down here at the obliques. A little bit under that heavy collar. Because it shadows across the yellow, you want it to shadow across the orange. Or the green, rather. Go up underneath here. Hit that heavy shoulder and that top of that pec. So we have that going on. And right back here just a little bit. Just to balance things out. So now I'm going to call that a day. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. As always, you know what to do with this. We're here on this big rock for a little bit of the party time. We got to prep it for the next party for the generation after us and leave them something to enjoy as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend if I don't talk to you before then. For the rest of everybody else that's going to show up tomorrow, thank you so much. Talk to you tomorrow. Take care.